Yo, what's up, everybody? I want to welcome you to Soundoff. It's your boy K Paper Chase, and we about to get it in today. All right, so today, what I want to talk about is I want to talk about drugs. Okay, yeah, a very popular subject, especially since everybody's going to legalize drugs. A lot of states are legalizing drugs. So I've just been looking around and I wanted to talk about this because they are legalizing drugs in Washington state. This is the second state to do it. Oregon already did it. So now they're going to Washington state to legalize the drugs. So I got a short clip. We're going to watch this clip first. Then we're going to come back and I'm going to break it down. And if anybody got any questions, want to jump on the panel, we can talk about it. So let's check out the video now. Hmm. All right, so they said the felony drug possession law is unconstitutional. So no more, they can't lock up anybody else for felony drug possession. So what they're doing now, before the date this summer, what they're trying to do, they're trying to hurry up and get some laws in place to say how we're going to regulate it. We can't say it's illegal because it's legalized throughout the state. So now they're trying to figure out how we're going to regulate these drugs and what rules are we going to have. But whatever rules they have, it can't be anything felony or it can't be criminalized. All right. So what they're saying is that since 2021, since drugs have been outlawed, they would have to actually go back in and pass another drug law. And this other drug law would have to go all over, and that would have to criminalize the drugs again. Yeah. So we got a lot of stuff going on. All right. So let's just break it down. All right. Let's just break it down so we can understand everything that's going on. All right. So 2021, they decided to decriminalize drugs. Washington state is the second state after Oregon to do that. So everything since 2021, since it was decriminalized, they can't charge people for it. So what's happening now is that they have to go back. All the people that were charged for drugs, meth, coke, heroin, ecstasy, whatever it is, weed, they have to go back. They have to give those people their court calls back, and they have to let the people out. So now they're trying to figure out, okay, when July comes and we let people out, what are they going to do? What are we going to do? So now they're trying to find sort of like a way to do the drugs since they're legal. So I was looking up some rules. So I was saying, I wonder how are they going to regulate this drug use? All right. So one thing that I saw was that you would have to be 21 or over to indulge in the drugs. All right. Drugs are allowed on private property, but not in public places. So you can't be in a government place doing the drugs. They don't want you to be out in the open doing any kind of drugs either. And it made me think too, there are some places where drugs are legal. I mean, I'm thinking about Amsterdam, and maybe it's in their culture because they've been legal so long, but they seem to have less crime than we do with the legalized drugs. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that was really, really interesting. Yeah. So now what they have to do, they have to figure out, okay, we can't charge these people with drugs. We have to help them. So how are they going to help these people that want to do drugs do drugs? They got all of this stuff set up, y'all. Look at this. Okay, so this is how a place in Amsterdam will look. This is a coffee shop. You can go in there. You can go do your drugs. You can do what you got to do. Looks like a nice, warm, inviting place. You know what I'm saying? I like the lights. It's pretty cool. It looks pretty cool. Now, this is what they have in Colorado. This looks like a outpatient center. This is actually a safe haven. So this is in Colorado right now. They're going to start building these, well, they got to have them up by July in all of the state of Washington. And since drugs are legal, each jurisdiction has to make their rules on how they want to do the drugs and how they want to handle the drugs. So what Seattle is going to do is similar to this in Colorado, is where they're going to have, I call them shoot up spots, because basically that's what they're going in there to do. So it's a controlled place, and you can go in there and you can have a place to do your drugs. So whatever kind of drugs you want to do, you go there, they'll provide you with a booth, and you also get a package. So you get a little kit when you go in here. So I want to say, what's in this kit? They're supposed to be giving you stuff to help you be safe. What's in this kit? All right. So once again, this is Amsterdam. You go in there, nice place. This is what they give you. They're going to start giving out. They're already giving them out in Colorado, but once the state of Washington goes online, it'll be Colorado, Washington, and Oregon. And if you want to do drugs, you can go get one of these packages. Now, this is absolutely crazy to me, but this is actually what they're giving out. So you got a needle, you got a thing of matches, you got Band-Aids, you got all this sterile stuff. And I guess the idea is if they give you a needle, a clean needle, you won't be spreading, you won't be spreading disease you won't be spreading disease. So yeah, it looks like, what is that? Is that a Band-Aid? It's a little rubber strap for your arm. I don't know what that metal thing is. If anybody knows what that metal thing is, then let me know. But this right here is what you get when you go in there. And I said, wow, I just had to kind of let that sink in for a minute. And then I had a question too. My question is, all right, now, okay, so so they're doing this on the West Coast, the Pacific Northwest. So, you got Oregon, you got Washington. Most of those places are predominantly white. As a matter of fact, I think Seattle and Portland are the two whitest cities in the United States as far as the percentage of white people. So I'm wondering, is that a thing that they're going to start over there, and will it come over here? Because I always got to wonder, okay, what if they did it in Baltimore? You know what I'm saying? What if they did it in DC? Do you all think that we would have, what do you think if they did this in Baltimore? If they did it in Philly, they set up the little sites in Philly. You know what I'm saying? You can go in there, you can do what you got to do. What do you all think? Do you think it would be better for them to do that, or just leave it like it is? Because what's going to happen is, I feel like this is going to start spreading. It might take a while to get over here, but they're already doing it in the Northwest. So I think a lot of people are going to be looking at this to just try to see, like, hey, what are they going to do, and how are other states going to handle it? But I don't know how I feel about that. I'm glad that they are setting up the rules, and hopefully there will be rules so you can't do it. But right now, even they do drugs on the buses. It's kind of crazy, man. And it's kind of weird how the culture could be so different in the same country. You just go across the country and it's totally different. I know that Seattle has a lot of homelessness problems too. Big homeless problem, big drug problem. So I mean, I just don't know what's going to happen once they start offering these people, this free stuff. Will it be more drugs, or will it be less? Now, I know here in Virginia, they have decriminalized weed, so you can smoke weed in Virginia. So I don't know. Sometimes I wonder what's going to happen when they start legalizing stuff, because it can't be for us. If the government is legalizing something, it's for their benefit. So I had to think about Virginia, right? So here in Virginia, they legalize drugs, and you can have up to an ounce. I think anything else over an ounce, you get a citation. It's like a parking ticket, like a non-moving violation, or like, you know what I'm saying? Something like that. So it's not criminal. So they have decriminalized marijuana. So I said, wow, that could be a good thing, because it's giving people a chance to try to grow their own. Now, how it goes here is you're allowed to have 5 plants. So the 5 plants would have to have a tag on it with my name and my social security number. That's what they ask for. So you can have 5 plants. You can have up to an ounce for your own consumption. So that's what they're doing here. So I said, you know what? That might be a good idea. Like, would I get in on some government weed? What could I do? So I started checking that out, right? The fee in order to get a license for your license in Virginia is so high that it's stopping people from doing it. They have certain I mean, I don't have a criminal record, but they have restrictions on criminal records. They just make it so hard and it's so expensive that only a few companies can do it. One of these companies is Greenleaf. So they're a big company. They can do it, and they're setting up dispensaries. They got a drive-through dispensary at the old Burger King. You know, you just go get your stuff. You know what I mean? And so what I'm thinking is the government is legalizing it, but they're just doing it so that they can get their money. First thing I noticed when I went to that dispensary was an ATM machine. Guess what? They only take cash. Only take cash. You go in there, you know, they got guards and stuff. You buy your weed and you be on your way. But even though it's legalized to go to the dispensary, I had to still get a license. My license is expired now. I don't have it current now. It's expired, but you have to get a license. So even though it's decriminalized, you have to go in there and you have to pay the prices for the weed in cash. But before you go, you still got to get a license for something that's decriminalized. You know what I'm saying? So that's crazy. I got my license about 3 years ago before the law had been put into effect. So during that whole time before the law was put into effect, I was able to go get it. But now I don't see a point in renewing my license. They want me to pay like $50, and I can go in there if I pay $50 and renew the license. But haven't done it. So that's how they do it here in Virginia. Now, here are the states right here. And these are the states in the United States who have legalized weed. Now, if you see right here, it's only a few that don't have any programs for the legalized THC. That's Idaho, Wyoming, Nebraska, Wisconsin, Indiana, and South Carolina. All the other states have some kind of provision for using marijuana. Like some of these light green right here, you can use it, but it's only THC and it's medically legal. So that would be how Virginia would be prior to passing it. You know, you have to have your license. As long as you get your license, you know what I mean, you're straight. Something recently that we did have to do here is that any of the dogs that were trained to smell marijuana, they had to get rid of them because marijuana is not illegal and a controlled substance that they're looking for. We gave all of our dogs to North Carolina. So North Carolina can use those dogs, you know what I'm saying, to help them sniff out those trees, you know. Yeah, so I thought that was kind of funny. Oh yeah, and I left the video. I think y'all took that video wrong. That video was a joke about the subscribing and we're gonna have to break up and stuff. I thought it was funny. It was dry humor, but a lot of people said they were kind of afraid after watching the video. So I thought that was funny. Didn't result in a whole lot of subscribers, so they must have not been that scared, but I thought it was funny how they said that. But yeah, that was a joke. You'll get used to my humor. All right, so back to the weed, back to the trees. All right, and some of these green ones legal for medicinal use and legal for recreational use. So we already know that all that stuff started in the West Coast. So you see California, Nevada, Oregon, Washington, Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, Montana, all of those are legal. Now, I had a friend of mine that was flying from Nevada because she went to Las Vegas and she came back to Virginia and she had weed on her. She said, yeah, I took it through the airport or whatever. So, you know, I had to check on that. So the FAA doesn't have any rules as far as marijuana. It's each state's discretion on what they do. And I guess because she was going from Nevada, which is legalized, to Virginia, which is legalized, she was all right. They didn't bother her. So I said, wow, kind of reminds me of a trip that I took. I took a trip to the Bahamas. And I stayed in the Bahamas for a week. So, I found my trees down there, got with a couple of people from Nassau. It was real cool. Just met people. It was just real cool. So I had some trees on me. So before I was leaving, I said, all right, let me get rid of all this. Get rid of my weed because I didn't want to take the weed on the plane from the Bahamas back. So I packed up everything, got on the plane. Everything was good. So I got home and I was unrolling the robe that I got. It had a nice embroidery robe that was just waiting for me. So yeah, I took that gift home and I was unrolling the robe and a bag of weed fell out. So I was like, damn, I can't believe a bag of weed fell out. But they didn't do anything or didn't search for the weed. So I don't know if they didn't search for the weed or they didn't find it or whatever. But be careful when you're going somewhere. If you got something on you, make sure that shit is out of your bag before you leave. Because I could have got hemmed up, especially for a little bitty bag of weed. But I just thought that was interesting. So yeah, it just depends. I had a friend come from New York. She puts the weed right here and she just goes through there. And I'm not saying to take weed on the airplane. Definitely don't do that. But I'm just saying that the rules and stuff are so crazy sometimes that you don't know what's going on. So the best thing to do is just not mess with it. Then you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry at all. Don't do anything illegal. If you think it's illegal, then don't do it. So yeah, so I'm just wondering, how they're gonna reinstate all these people. They're gonna have to let a lot of people out of drugs. I mean, out of jail. And what they were saying is that these people out of jail, they have to have some kind of treatment or program or something when they come out. So it's crazy because to me, it almost seems like what side are they on with the drug fight? You know what I mean? It's like they playing both sides. They're saying locking people up for it, but then when you get out, it's a place where you can go do it. You can go get free needles. I mean, that's so crazy to me, man. That's some crazy shit. So yeah, so you just be wondering, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is it coming to? And that's what you get. And then I wonder, if it got over here as far as if it traveled, would that be acceptable? But I still can't see it. I think that cultures may be differently. And I really don't think on the East Coast, you know what I'm saying, that we would be ready for this. I don't think it would be ready. And Seattle and Portland, those places have historically had a high drug population, high homelessness. You know what I mean? So I think it's a little bit worse over there than here. So maybe they're feeling, hey, if I can't beat them, I'm gonna join them. So we can just get some money. But my thing is, what I'm waiting to do is I want to see how the government is going to make the money off of the drugs, because if it's decriminalized, does that mean they're going to have a store where you can go buy heroin? Or can I get some meth from the drive-through? You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, how far are they going to take this? How far is it going to go? It's crazy. And then what I wonder is if it's going to go down. Like, is there anything going to go down as far as the usage? Yeah, so they're having to July. And once July comes, they're going to have to vote what they're going to do as far as if they can't criminalize it. So one proposal, what they said they're going to do, they said that on your third offense, so say you get caught with some drugs or whatever, you get caught again, and then on your third offense, they have to offer you rehab for two offenses, I think. And then after they offer you rehab for the two offenses, on the sixth offense, you would get a citation. And like I said, a citation, there's not even a moving violation on the car. It's like a jaywalk or something like that. So yeah, so they're going to have to figure out what they're going to do to recoup all that money that they were getting for prosecuting drugs. And it's about $100 million they were saying that they have to give back. Because if you convicted me for anything drugs since 2021 when it was outlawed, you got to give my money back. And what about the people who behind bars? Are they going to just let them out, or are they going to give them some kind of restitution or something like that? You know what I'm saying? Like, what they going to do? It's crazy. Like, what is it coming to, right? Yeah, if there was anybody out there that wanted to, that had a question or want to come to the panel, you can. I know it's early in the morning. I'm more productive early in the morning, but I decided, hey, I'm just going to try it out. Instead of just doing a video this time, I'm just going to go live, just put it out there. So that's just what I want to do, especially for this part 2. I'm going to have a part 3 with the drugs. And what's going to happen is the drugs is going to be its own separate podcast, because there's so much stuff going on with that. So I'm going to separate that to be its own separate podcast. And we'll do it. Maybe the drugs, they'll be like Monday, just like we have church every Sunday. So yeah, so I'm working on some good things, y'all. Some good things. But yeah, but let me know, what do you think about this law in Washington? They determined that it was unconstitutional to criminalize drugs. So it's unconstitutional for them to punish you for using drugs. Unconstitutional. And I mean, that's have a lot of ratification. If you think about it, I mean, kind of in a way it is unconstitutional, right? Because how can you tell me what to put in my body if I'm not hurting anybody else? It's kind of unconstitutional to tell you what to put in your body. but it's not unconstitutional to punish you if you do wrong. So if you go rob a bank and you're on drugs to get the drugs, I'm hoping that Seattle, King County, state of Washington, whatever, I'm hoping that they'll still prosecute you for robbing a bank. You know what I'm saying? Not for the drugs, but if you rob a bank when you own drugs, you still got to pay for what you did. You know what I mean? So it's just a lot of stuff here. It's a lot of stuff that can people that can get away with stuff. You know, and if they say, hey, we just gonna put you in rehab, we're not gonna worry about that. We're gonna put you in rehab. Okay, but you just robbed a bank. You see what I'm saying? So by being that lenient, is that going to make more drug use come? That's my question. Like, that is crazy. It's real crazy. And then they said that the Democrats and the Republicans are on opposite sides. Of course, imagine that. They all getting paid for it, though. But they're on opposite sides. So the government is playing both sides on this. And they're getting paid each way. So what's going to happen, thinking about it, too, they have to have billions and billions of dollars. I mean, look at this package right here. For them to actually open up a facility and give this out, and have a 24-hour facility. There's several facilities. It's just not one. It's several of them. It's got to be some money from somewhere. So they have these drug programs that they're giving the billions of the dollars to, and it's coming from somewhere. So guess who it's coming from? It's coming from us. No, it's coming from y'all in the state of Washington. So y'all paying for this because you know the government isn't paying for it, and they're still figuring out a way to make some money out of it. So yeah, it's probably companies that's branching off of these kits. They probably came up with a company that can make these little kits and sell these shits to the government and then make a killing. And see, that's the kind of stuff we got to start thinking about, especially legislature. I'm not into the law. I don't deal with politics at all, but we got to be watching this stuff because when stuff like this happens and they pass laws, whenever they pass laws, they're going to need a way to enforce the law. So whatever the law is, like if there's a law about these drugs, they're going to need people to package this stuff. They're going to need people to make these kits. So always look at the stuff. And something else I'm looking for is this clean energy and this AI. Even if it's something that we don't agree with, it's bringing a lot of opportunities as far as to be someone that can kind of get in and make some money off of it. I did the same thing with Dogecoin. I think I was a little bit late, though. If I would have been a little bit earlier, I could have really made a lot of money. So we got to watch these laws and these legislations. And when the government start making all this money, there's no reason for us not to do it because they're exploiting our money anyway. So there's nothing wrong if I was in Washington and I said, hey, I got a Band-Aid store and I sell my Band-Aids to the government for this program. There's nothing wrong with that. As a matter of fact, it'll help because now after they shoot up, they can put my Band-Aid on. So we got to start thinking, we a little bit more enterprise minded, you know, and I say, we don't mess with the government and stuff like that. But whenever you get an opportunity to get paid by the government, take that opportunity. Don't be a dummy and say, I don't want nothing for the government because they're taking the money from you. Every time you work, you pay gas, license, taxes. It's coming out from every different direction. So when you see an opportunity, take the opportunity. And if they're going to pass laws and stuff that allow us to do these things that, you know, a lot of people have been doing anyway, there's nothing wrong with taking part of that. It just means that you're a legal drug dealer now. That's how you're supposed to do it. That's being smart. All right, so I don't see no comments. Don't see anybody trying to log in. So I'm going to end the stream. Hey, I just wanted to get my 2 cents on this drug thing because it's getting real out there, y'all. It's crazy. So what I'm going to do, I don't know. I might go live later on tonight, but I do want to go and I'm going to look in this. And I'm going to have a part 3 of this drugs because there's some stuff I didn't talk about. That's pretty cool. So, yeah, I want to thank y'all for joining Soundoff. This is K Paper Chase. Thank y'all.
Come a long way from where I used to be. Takes a long time to get to know me. What are your intentions? Why you playing me so close? It's gonna take some time to get to know. Are you the us? Are you a cop? Am I on the interview? Am I on the clock? Paranoia, man. I don't have to see it to believe it. Oh my God, I feel attention. But are you an ox? Are you a attention. How do you feel? Start feeling wired. Stomach butterflies. Listen to your instincts. Maybe a third eye. If it don't feel okay, it's alright. Listen to your instincts. Go the other way. Are you an ops? Are you a cop? Am I on the interview? Am I on the clock? Are you wide up? I don't see it to believe it. I follow my gut and gives attention. Are you the ops? Are you a cop? Am I on the interview? Am I on the clock? Paranoia. I don't see it to believe it. I follow my gut and gives attention. Are you the ops? Are you a cop? Am I on the interview? Am I on the clock? I don't have to see it to believe it. I follow my gut and feels attention. You take it now. Are you the ops? Are you a cop? Are you a boy? Am I on the interview? Am I on the clock? You need to let it. I don't have to see it to believe it. I follow my gut and feels attention.
All right. So what's up, everybody? I want to welcome you to Soundoff. Yeah, it took me a little minute to get started, but we are live and we are ready to get it going today. So I want to thank everybody for being here for Soundoff, and we can go ahead and get our show from today. All right. So today, really what I wanted to talk about, something. It's kind of polarizing. So I know that a lot of people is going to have a lot to say about it. But before I get started though, can I just check and see if everybody got to the right stream? If you're in the chat, can you put a one in the chat rooms just so I can see if you're here? Because I had like 3 or 4 of these live started. So I want to make sure everybody is on the right one. I see you, Nikki Dread. Salutes. Thanks for being here. The enemy's public. Salute, man. I see you here too. Yeah, but yeah, see here my people now, they don't see it. So they might have to go to another one. And let me see. Y'all hold on for a second. Let me make sure everybody is here. Nikki Dread, you say you're waiting, but I see you're here. So everybody, let me know that you're here. I'm gonna give everybody like 2 minutes to see if we can get people here. Yeah, if you tried to use that original link, you couldn't use it because when I went into Zoom, it timed me out. So it made me make another whole one. So that's why it's going on like that. Okay, Nikki Dread, I see you here. Okay, new growth out the trenches, original builders. I see you here, my brother. All right, so we're gonna give like 1 more minute, then we're gonna get started. I don't see Marmar. Marmar. Yeah, just text me. So I think she's gonna find her way to the right screen too. Let me just yeah, this is my lead moderator. I gotta make sure she's straight. Hold on a second. Make sure Marmar's straight. Yeah, we're about to get started. Yeah, Marmar, just go to my page. If you go to my page, the K Paper Chase, if you just click on that, you should be good because you should just go to the live one. But it's not going to be that first one that was broadcast. All right. All right, so let's get started, yo. All right, so like I said, I wanted to talk about something that was very polarizing, and I wanted to see, what everybody has to say about it, because everybody seemed to have such strong thoughts about this. And what I wanted to talk about was drugs. All right. First, before we even get started, I want to say that I'm not encouraging or condoning any use of any drugs. If you do have a drug problem, there are places that you can reach out for it. But I'm not necessarily talking about the illicit drugs. I want to talk about all kinds of drugs. And I just want to have a conversation because it just seems like they get a bad rap as far as drugs. Drugs get stigmatized. So, if somebody thinks you're on drugs, it's going to be you're going to be stigmatized for it. They think you're a crackhead, but people use drugs for more reasons than getting high. And that's just what I want to talk about. So let's just get into some stuff about the drugs. We're not going to go into like a dare class or nothing like that, but just to get into the different types of drugs. Okay. So the first type of drugs is prescription drugs. Prescription drugs, we all know what those are. Those all are prescriptions. And then after prescription drugs, we have the illegal or the illicit drugs. And we're going to talk about the illegal drugs a little bit. I'm going to talk about this prescription drugs a little bit. And something else I want to talk about is it's a whole nother class of drugs called designer drugs. Now I'm just learning about the designer drugs, but what the designer drugs do is they will make a fake drug. So instead of doing like codeine, they'll make a designer drug that's kind of close to codeine, but it's not quite codeine. So that's where you get all the bath salts and the stuff like that from. So we're going to talk about all that, and we're going to just see if they're harmful, because I think that with drugs, it's kind of like each person can do their own thing. To me, it's wrong for me to say whether somebody should be doing drugs or judge somebody for doing drugs, because people do drugs for different reasons. You see what I'm saying? So I just wanted to get back and just get to maybe the history of some of the stuff and some of the reasons why we feel the way we do, as far as with the drugs. Because I think that the stigma probably came from just us being conditioned, just like we conditioned with everything else. Of course, we conditioned with the drug. And when it comes to that, we got our programming about the drugs. So I think a lot of that stuff, as far as the drugs, just came from the program that we got. So I want to talk about that a little bit, and just to see why it's sort of like a bad rap all the time, right? So if you remember, when was it? Back in the 80s, we had the Nancy Reagan, excuse me. We had a Nancy Reagan and Ronald Reagan, and they had this big drugs thing. So do you remember the drug thing that we went through? If y'all my age, y'all probably remember it was DARE. It was drug abuse resistance education. And I think that's when they made a lot of the rules. That's when the crack epidemic hit. So when DARE came, I think there was really like they were trying to get rid of the drugs, of course, the drugs that they caused, but that's what DARE was about. So I think when DARE first came is when people started really talking about drugs and getting aware of drugs. And that's when I see a lot of Black people started kind of going down with the drugs. You know what I'm saying? Because that's when you would get the crackheads and you get the crack laws and all that. And those laws were a lot harder than the regular laws. So yeah, so I think that's when a lot of that stuff started, like during those DARE times. So yeah, drug abuse resistance education. That's what happened, and that's what caused a lot of stuff to happen, as far as rules and stuff like that. So we had the DARE and we had the crack time. All right, so then I just want to get I'm trying to do this screenshot, but it's not working right. All right, but I wanted to get into also I wanted to get into the old days, because I do my research, so I look back and I could actually see. Oh, we're not going to share that. So I could actually see when I look back, the different cultures and stuff they use drugs. So I thought that was kind of different. Give me a second, y'all. All right, so they say cannabis came from the Chinese people. So I got pictures of the Chinese people using cannabis. They have the Egyptians, the ancient Egyptians, they use cannabis. So it's a lot of drugs, even from back in the day, even from the Africans. So they've always used that. So I want to go back a little bit further. So I went back, I went to the Bible. Moses had that burning bush. So I wanted to look at the burning bush. I wanted to look at the Bible, and I just wanted to see what was going on with it. So in Exodus 30:23 through 25, it says, "Then the Lord said to Moses, take the following spices, 500 shekels of liquid myrrh, half as much, that is 250 shekels of fragrant cinnamon, 250 shekels of fragrant calamus." Calamus is translated to cannabis. So, if you want to look that up, you can. 500 shekels of cassia oil, according to the sanctuary shekel, and a hin of olive oil. Make these into a sacred anointing oil, a fragrant blend, the work of a perfumer. It will be the sacred anointing oil. All right, so that's going to be the anointing oil. So what I wanted to do is I converted it because I wanted to see exactly what this was. All right, so when we convert that, liquid myrrh, 500 shekels is 12.68 pounds. All right, so that means the liquid myrrh would be 12.68, right? The cassia would be 500 shekels, and that's also 1268 pounds, right? So 12 pounds, 68. Cinnamon leaf, 6.34 pounds, and cannabis flowers, and they're using the flowers, so it's not the seeds, it's the flowers, the psychoactive part, 6.34 pounds, and olive oil, one hen is 6.5 liters. 6.5 liters is 1.72 gallons. So you're telling me you got 1.72 gallons and you got all this stuff, including 6.34 pounds of cannabis flowers. That's a lot. So that's telling us that this oil or whatever Moses was pouring all over him was getting him fucked up because it was very strong. All right. And we also know that cannabis, when you put it in your skin, what's going to happen is it's going to be absorbed through your skin. So when he was at that burning bush, I'm surprised he ain't even catch on fire because he was all burned up. You know what I'm saying? He had all this oil on him. So Moses was fucked up, man. And then I was doing some more stuff and I saw Jesus in there. We're going to get to Jesus on another day. That's a whole nother story. But let me see who's in here. Hey, salute. I have Nikki Dredd. Thanks for joining. Frederica Adair. Hey, thanks for joining. New Growth. Bronze Flat Power God. Big Dog Philly OG. Peace. Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining, everybody. But yeah, I just wanted to get into this because Moses was getting high. And then I looked too, and they say he parted the Red Sea, so he had the staff in his hand. And he said when he had the staff in his hand, it turned into a snake. Said Moses must have really been on some good stuff, but if he used 6.5 pounds of flowers, which is a psychoactive part of the weed, then he's gonna be fucked up. So that's what happened. That's what happened to Moses. So I said that to say that I guess we shouldn't be so quick to judge people as far as the drugs, to judge people because we feel that they're on drugs or that they're using their drugs too much. Perfect example, what I have a friend of mine and he doesn't smoke, but I'll smoke sometimes. Well, I smoke all the time. So I'll smoke it. He doesn't smoke, but he talks about me for smoking. So he'll say that's not healthy. You smoking that weed isn't healthy. And now weed is actually legal. Well, it's decriminalized in Virginia. So does that make it right because it's decriminalized? So the same people that I was smoking, since the law says it's decriminalized now, does that make it okay? And was it always okay in the first place? You know what I'm saying? So I wonder about that. I mean, what do y'all think? Do y'all think, as far as the laws, I don't feel that there should be any laws governing drugs, like telling you what you should be able to do to your body. Like, what do y'all think? Do y'all think that we should be able to say nobody use drugs, or should we be able to let everybody choose their own? You know what I'm saying? So that's just something I want to talk about. And that everybody's different. So there are different situations. Okay, so suppose I say I'm gonna come home, right? I'm gonna come home, I had a long day. I'm gonna come home and I'm gonna smoke because I just had a long day. But somebody might judge me for that. But then I see big boys sitting on the couch popping metformins. You taking this metformin, you got a piece and you sitting down watching the TV with high cholesterol. You know what I'm saying? Or, I see the older lady. I mean, you sitting there, you making pies and shit, but you pump your hydrochlorothiazide. You know what I'm saying? So how can you blame me for smoking when I'm healthy? I don't have high cholesterol. I don't have high blood pressure, because I choose to smoke. That shouldn't be a bad thing. But you're taking medicine so that you can be lazy without even trying to get up off the couch. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of those things too that we just got to think about, and we just got to try to consider. Now I know enough is enough, and we got to realize too that drugs are a disease. So that's something that you can catch, or it's something that's hereditary. So if you had family or if you had parents that are on drugs, you're more likely to be on it, and that's just the way it is. It's a disease, and why we use them. Why do we use these drugs, yo? Now, there are certain drugs that people use for different reasons, right? So people use drugs to get high. Like, okay, I want to use my drug to get high. But there are so many other kinds of drugs that they have now that it just makes me kind of wonder, like, is this right or is this wrong? Okay. All right. So first, what I want to talk about, I want to talk about adrenochrome. Now, if y'all don't know what adrenochrome is, it's been around forever. But I guess when people are rich and have a lot of money, they're on total separate level than us because they just be on some shit, man. So this adrenochrome is a drug that they use, and we have to figure out if this right, if this is right, or if this is wrong. Well, I know the adrenochrome is wrong. All right, let's just go ahead and go through it real quick. All right, so as far as the adrenochrome, what that is that is a drug that they use. A lot of stars and stuff, they want to stay young, they want to look good, so they'll use this adrenochrome. And this adrenochrome is actually supposed to be like adrenaline from a child. So when people are upset, when people are very scared, especially children, they produce a certain hormone, and this hormone that they produce is called adrenochrome. And if you get that adrenochrome, you can use that, and that makes you younger. That makes you feel younger, and it's supposed to like turn back the clock. And they have a lot of stars that do that. Has anybody ever heard of that? Adrenochrome. If you have, go ahead and put it in the chat. But people use that kind of stuff just to try to stay young. So, that's a form of a drug. I think that's kind of like a designer drug. I would call it a designer drug because people use it to try to stay young. There are also other drugs. You got to realize too that these stem cells have all kinds of drugs where they have stem cells in them. And these stem cells are the most purest form of drugs. It's like pure white blood cells. So with a stem cell, you can use that stem cell to start anything or to even to grow new parts. So what's happening a lot is, when boys get circumcised, you can actually ask for that back if you want to. You can say, hey, man, I want my son's foreskin. They have to give it to you at the hospital because what they do at the hospital is they take it and they use for different kinds of medicines. They take your plasma, when you give them plasma, when you give your blood, they use that for different kind of medicines too. So I think it's just really crazy, man, that they can use this stuff. Kim Kardashian, allegedly, you know what I'm saying? I even saw a picture of her. She kept her placenta. When she had her baby, she said, I want to keep my placenta. She kept her placenta, and she used the placenta to put all over her face. So that placenta is supposed to help her face and help her feel young. So that's another thing that they use. So that's a question too. Do you think that that's wrong? I'm trying to get to the more implications here because I kind of think it's hypocritical to say that drugs are wrong, but it can be right in some instances. And I'm trying to see is if it is right in some instances, what instances is it right on, and who's to say what instance that is? Because like I said, if I take it after a long day, if I'm trying to get through the day and I use it for a stress relief, then that's a drug. What would be the difference between, having a drink? You know what I'm saying? So let's see what the people got to say. If crack was legal, the world would be an even hotter mess. Okay, so Nikki Dredd said if crack was legal, the world would be even hotter. Yeah, it would. And I'm not necessarily saying that I want it to be. Yeah, see, that's hard. I'm not saying I want it to be legal, like we want people to be going around smoking crack. But what I'm saying is there shouldn't be a punishment if you're not hurting anybody else. Okay, now so if you go kill somebody because you're on crack, of course you have to pay for killing the person. But what I'm saying is it should be more treatment based. You know what I'm saying? It should be more treatment instead of just punishing them. And also, you got to look at the law. Like I said, back to the Nancy Reagan and the Ronald Reagan, you got to look at the laws. They were giving people like, what was it, like 10 years for a rock? Something, it was something so crazy one time that they was giving people, and it wasn't fair. So yeah, crack isn't right, but at the same time, crack should be punished if you want to do it the same way that mushrooms are punished, or the same way that, you know what I'm saying, LSD and stuff like that. That's what I want to talk about too, like the psychedelic drugs. They also get a bad rap. Well, we got to realize that these psychedelic drugs, just like the cannabis was around for a millennium, they use magic mushrooms, they use all these things. And when they use them, it wasn't necessarily to get high, but it was like to lighten their mind. They would actually try to ascend to a higher level to ascend their mind. So that's what they were trying to do with the drugs. So all drugs weren't necessarily a bad thing. I think all drugs, when we found them out, they were good things. What happened is man refined them, man made them addictive, man did all these things to drugs, made them addictive, made them illegal, and I think that's why they got the bad rap. But at the same time, I don't know, it's hard. I can't say that they should legalize crack. I don't know, but if somebody does get caught with crack, I just think it should be dealt with differently. I just think it should just be dealt with differently. You know what I mean? Okay, what'd you say? Sick people. My parent was on drugs and I didn't want any part of it. I have the sick, but she used her own placenta. That's her business. Okay, yeah. So and you can understand that, but that's what I'm saying. You never know why a person got on drugs, and then you can look at. I mean, even the celebrities, even people that's not celebrities, you'll see sometimes they'll like have an accident, and they'll take some pain medicine for the accident, and then it'll mess them up, and then they're on the drugs before they got hooked on something. So I don't know. It's just really funny, man. It's just hard. When what I'm saying is instead of just making laws, blanket laws, I just think everything should be dealt on a one-on-one basis. You know what I'm saying? 101. Each, we're not going to have a drug law that say if you get caught with this, if you got to get caught with this is what's going to happen. But it should just be an individual basis. Every individual should be treated different. Okay, what you say, rehab the first time? Yeah, it should definitely be some kind of rehab, definitely some kind of rehab. Definitely. Yeah, I can definitely see that. And I think also, like I said, it depends on your belief, how you were raised too. And that's one of the reasons why I just wanted to bring that that Jesus example up there. And that's just why I wanted to, show those pictures and stuff of that, just to see that, in the Bible, they drank, they had wine, they would get drunk. I'm not saying it's something that you should do, everything you should do with balance, but it's something that's always been going on. So a lot of times I think when they make the drugs illegal, a lot of the drugs that they make illegal is to keep us from using the medicinal properties. I think that the pharmaceutical companies do a lot of this on purpose. When you go to the doctors, they actually get paid to give you these new prescriptions or to give you these samples. And then if you go to a doctor in Europe, they'll give you like some essential oils. So I just think it's turned into a big business kind of thing, and that the government's just learn how to profit off of it. So now in Virginia, we have weed, so we can have weed. It's decriminalized in Virginia, but they're making money off of it. And they get a dispensary here. I think it's like $10,000 for the license. And you have to pay another $5,000. So they make it hard and they make it expensive so that regular people can't do that. You know what I mean? And it's funny because here in Colonial Heights, they just made a drive-through. It's a drive-through green leaf place at the old Burger King. I said, damn, you can go to Burger King, have it your way, get your trees. So I thought that was cool. Yeah, that was cool. So yeah, so what y'all think, man? I just wanted to kick it about these drugs, just say whatever, just so see what everybody thought. But yeah, I definitely don't think that should be illegal. Everything should be on a one by one basis. Don't think that we should shame each other about drugs or that we should try to use that for ammunition against somebody or try to, you know, uh, just make it a bad thing. Because you got to realize that people, especially people that are reformed from drugs, that quit the drug habit, that's one of the hardest things to do in life. So those people that actually got reformed from being a drug addict are probably some of the best people you're gonna run into. So I just don't like when it's a stigma placed on that because you never know that person, you never know what they went through or what even drove them to that point. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's just something. I want to get on. A lot of people seem to think that it's okay to do that, but it's not. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open the panel up. Marmar, I see you, Marmar. She made it. Yo, it's hot as a mug in here, man. It got like 80 degrees of Virginia today. Oh, I see you, Marmar. So yeah, look, I'm gonna put the link in there. If somebody want to join the panel, hey, just jump on the panel, just say hello, just say what you think about the drugs. Should they be illegal? Should they be legalized? Do you think that they did drugs in biblical times? Am I lying about this Bible stuff? Did Jesus smoke? What do you think? Is it okay to use the adrenochrome? Can you keep your placenta and put it on your face if you want to? There should be nothing wrong with that, right? And see, that's one of the things too why I don't believe in the laws, because I think if me and my wife want to have a home pregnancy and she wants to keep her placenta from her child and use it on her face, or if I want to take it and use, I mean, whatever. I think you should be able to do that. I really do. And legally, you can do it. So any woman, if you go to the hospital, you can go to the hospital and you can say, "Hey, I want my placenta," and they have to give you your placenta. You know what I'm saying? You have, "Hey, you cutting my son's foreskins off. I want that foreskin," and they have to do that. And you have to realize too that the foreskin on the man's penis are stem cells. Those are some of the most powerful cells that can even be produced. They grow and they like multiply so fast, unlike any other cells. So, so they're doing something with that. And I know y'all heard about those rabbis, right? And they are it's disgusting. They are they circumcising little boys with their mouths. So these rabbi preachers, when the little boy gets born, they'll take his penis and they will literally bite the foreskin off, circumcise it, spit it in a little vat beside them. This is what these people are doing. Certain cultures are. So and it's still happening, and that's something that's really need to get looked into. Oh, did y'all see the Dalai Lama? So the Dalai Lama is who is he, like the Indian man or something like that? And the little kid came up there and he licked his tongue. He said, "I want you to lick my tongue." So the little kid was licking his tongue. I mean, this is crazy. And this is what's going on. Yeah, and this is what's going on. Yeah, Mama, that sounds like a cult move. But yeah, that's what they're doing. And so it's a lot of stuff that we don't know about. So that's what I'm saying. It's sort of like, why we so busy judging ourselves, judging each other and stuff. It's people that's doing real evil stuff with drugs. You know what I mean? So, why you judging somebody for smoking the blunt or whatever? Why you popping your high blood pressure pill and eating pizzas and ice cream all day? There's no need for that, really. It's too much. It's a lot. It's a whole lot. Yeah, so it sounds like some kind of cult move. Yeah. So yeah. Which say bronze black power God, and they forgot all drugs was healthy herbs until they fucked with it. Our pharmacies, drug dealers, and our pharmacies. Yeah, that's exactly what they did. Just like the cocoa leaf. It used to be a plant. They used to chew the leaf and they were good. Then they had to make it with this. Then they had to mix it up. Then they had to make crack. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's technology. So instead of using the drugs like they're supposed to be used, we got the technology, and that technology is making us refine the drug. A perfect example, my friend came over here the other day. She had went to the in Maryland, she went to the dispensary and she was like, "Try some of this." And I was like, "All right, what is?" Because she went to the dispensary. So I'm thinking like it's weed. And she had like this little medicine thing. It's like a little eye drop or something. I was like, "What is that?" And she's like, "Just get a little bit." And it's just like a little bit like this. And she said it's supposed to be the size of a grain of rice. And you put it on your hand. And yeah, it's cannabis, but I guess it's refined. It's very, very strong. So it's just a little drop, and you just put that on your tongue. And yeah, you feel it in about like 5 minutes. So I think a lot of that is like for pain and stuff like that too. Oh yeah, then you gotta realize like pain. Yeah, how can you tell somebody that drugs might be wrong, that you shouldn't use them when a lot of people use it for pain? It's a lot of people that they'll smoke weed or they'll use some weed or some gummies or something like that before they take the real pain medicine that causes addiction. So I mean, it's just so many reasons. So that's just why I think, shouldn't be any laws. So y'all think somebody hit that link. Come and talk to me. Just come up and say, hey, what your name is, and do you think drugs should be legalized, or do you think they should be illegal, and why? And yeah, and then more too. Yeah, it is a lot of cult movement. Then you got to realize, I mean, drugs is just like anything else, man. Anything can be used for good or for bad. So, just like drugs can be used for life-saving devices, drugs can be used, to help you feel better. Drugs can be used as a bad thing too. They can be used to, control people. Oh yeah, and that's what I want to talk about too. So it's a couple of new drugs that they have, designer drugs. So your parents, y'all might want to know this as far as your kids, if you ever hear them talking about it. The first drug that I saw, what was the name? It's called Flakka. And supposedly when they take the Flakka stuff, that Flakka makes you take your clothes off, makes you real sexual and very suggestive. And they're starting to get that with the teens now. It's called Flakka. So be on the watch out for that. I think they said it's like a white substance, like a white powder. Also have another kind of powder. It's called Smiles. Have y'all heard of Smiles? I guess it makes you smile, but it's some kind of hallucinogen that they're using. But see, these are the designer drugs. So it's different because back in the day when we used to get our drugs or our weed or our e-pills or whatever, it was what it is. But now it's so many of these substances. It's these designer drugs. It's fake substances. I mean, they got chemists in there. I mean, you can put on a suit and try to make your own stuff. They got chemists doing that stuff at home. So it's very, very dangerous. And now with the different kinds of stuff. Oh yeah, and the other one's called crocodile. Yeah, so this crocodile drug, when you take that drug, they say it feels good. It's a fake opiate. So I guess they try to make it like a opium, but it's a fake opiate, but it rots your body, your skin from the inside out. And I actually had a slideshow. I'm not gonna put it up because this computer screen is acting up, but it rots your skin from the inside out. So that's what I'm saying too. Y'all gotta realize, like, if somebody's taking a drug to do that, something's wrong with them. And that's another thing that we don't look at too. I think a lot of times with the drugs, it has a lot to do with your mental health. Mental health and drugs are kind of like, they kind of go together. So a lot of times if somebody is abusing drugs, it's a sign of mental health issues. Yeah, so a lot of reasons, right? So a lot of reasons. So that's all. I'm just trying to look at the reasons instead of just putting a blanket punishment in a blanket. You know what I'm saying? Just throwing something on everybody. So yeah, so I just look at the reasons. And I know a lot of times, our court systems and all that, we don't have time to look at stuff one-on-one. But I'm just talking about the way we treat each other, the way we deal with each other, to just try to be understanding. I mean, you don't have to be around anything that you don't want to be around, but you just never know what somebody else is going through. So that's where I was coming from. So let's see what y'all saying. Girl said, ground zero war. Yeah. We will be legal worldwide real soon. Yeah, more. I think so too. Virginia did it first. Usually when Virginia does something, North Carolina does it too. So I'm thinking that, yeah, North Carolina is going to be positive pretty soon. It's going to allow you to have weed. That the fact people lace weed with stronger drugs is crazy to me. Yeah, yeah. And oh yeah, and something else that we used to have when we were growing up, I spread it. They called it something else. It's called Klondike, I think. It's called Love Boat. Love Boat is when they were taking embalming fluid and they would mix the embalming fluid and they would smoke it up. And that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's some mental issues or something. Because I don't know why anybody would choose to take these kind of drugs, these hallucinogens, these PCPs, these drugs that are going to just make you lose your mind like that. So that's why I said, it's a bigger issue going on, and it's something that that we need to look at. But we can only look at ourselves. So all I'm saying is just watch your kids, watch your family, and we just look out for each other. Everybody's family, everybody's responsible for looking out there for themselves. But now when you see people, you'll know a little bit, if they seem like something is going on, just try to look a little bit deeper into it. You don't have to do anything. You just need to understand each other a lot more, understand what's going on with each other. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? Yeah, I know this is a very polarizing topic, and that's why I asked everybody to leave their indoctrination at the door, because I didn't want it to turn into anything where anybody was upset, because of the Bible references, with the drugs or with the alcohol. So it's all good. All right, so what we got here. It's usually a sad story to lead someone to drugs, but there is no control over them. It's going to get way out of hand. Yeah, and it does. It does. And eventually, yeah, you probably do have to do something. It has to be an intervention or something like that. I mean, you're right. I mean, it goes both ways. That's all I'm saying. Oh, the Zoom is acting weird. New growth. I know, man. I had to try to get on here like 5 times. Yeah, it's acting up. Yeah, my stuff was all messed up when I first started. Yeah, Zoom is acting up. But yeah, then the thing is too, is like everybody in their family has that drunk aunt. Everybody got that crazy person. Everybody got that drug person. You know what I'm saying? And everybody has that person in their family. I'm gonna tell you a story. All right, this is a story. The person in the family. Oh yeah, he used to be all right, but he went to a club one day and they put something in his drink, and he been crazy ever since, right? They put something in Uncle such and such drink. He went crazy like that till he went to the club. They put something in that drink though, and he got crazy. Yeah, that's the story I hear all the time. So that just tell you right there that it's a correlation. You know what I'm saying? Mental health and addiction. You know what I'm saying? There's a correlation between both of those. And I don't really think that that's true. I don't really think that you go to the club and somebody puts something in your drink and then you crazy for the rest of your life. Y'all, hey, if y'all think so, go ahead and try to get that link. Let me know, put something in the chat. I don't see that. I think that motherfucker was already crazy. He went to the club, and maybe he did have something at the club. I don't know. I don't think it's just gonna just make you go crazy. There are some strong drugs, but I think there's some kind of mental thing going on anyway. You know what I mean? Some kind of mental thing going on. That's what I think. And then I think a lot of times, even these pharmaceutical drugs, I mean, you got to realize that more people die from pharmaceutical drugs than all the illicit drugs combined. So every illicit drug in the world, all the people that die from them, it's still less people that die from pharmaceutical drugs. These are prescription drugs. So that's what I'm saying. So, we do have the stigmas and stuff like that, but the prescription drugs are actually the most dangerous. And I know that's hard to wrap your head around, but they are, because they kill more people than the other drugs. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like when you start getting on drugs, when you start taking drugs, it just don't make you no better. You know, I'm always like an alternative medicine kind of person. Because once you get on those drugs, man, you have to take another drug to stop the side effect from the drug that you took. It's just like never ending. And these doctors who prescribe you the drugs, they don't give a damn for real. They prescribing the drug because they get a kickback from the drug manufacturer to give you the drug. But then if you ask them about some herbs or if you ask them about some supplements, they don't know. I don't know. Glucosamine? I don't know. You don't know glucosamine? Nope. I don't know. Damn, you don't know nothing. What about essential oils? Nope, I don't know that. You go to Europe, if you got a headache, they'll give you some essential oil. Here, they're going to give you some Tylenol. They're going to give you some pain medicine. And now they don't even give you good pain medicine no more. They tell you to take a Tylenol. I went to the dentist, got root canals, implants. Take this Tylenol. After the Tylenol, take an ibuprofen. All right, that's what I had to do. Maybe I need to drop the Zoom link again. Let me see. All right, I'm gonna drop the link. I'm gonna put it in. All right, I just dropped the link again. All right, new growth. So I'm starting to see zombies in LA, California. Something is terrible going on with the drugs. Yeah, it's this designer drugs. All right, do y'all remember? All right, well, it wasn't even back in the day, it was a couple of years ago. They had the spice. That was like spice. It wasn't weed, but it was spice. And they had this stuff called K2. I remember. And the K2, you go to the store, and that would happen in the stores. Like you go to the gas station, they had a K2, and it's like $20, and you'll go in there. And I used to get the little stuff. I'm not get it. I mean, I used to see it. No, I never tried it. But I used to think it was like the bath salts and stuff. So I would see it, and they would just have it on sale. It'd be like K2, you know what I mean? So I said, wow. So that's what a designer drug is. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to make it like, okay, so K2, they're trying to make like a fake weed. So what they'll do is they'll deconstruct the weed, like reverse engineer it. They'll try to get as close as to the molecular structure as they can with the new weed, and they'll make it. But what they'll do is they'll make it stronger. So that stuff like the bath salts and stuff. Remember the dude was eating off the dude's face and all that. It's crazy shit, man, with these drugs. But they don't know how it's going to affect them because they're making a fake drug. So all these designer drugs are just fake. And now they got the drug that makes you stop losing weight, that makes you start losing weight. So you can take it and you can lose weight. And they got the drug to make you darker. So say you want to tan, it's a new designer drug. Hey, you can take it. And once you take the injections, your whole body start tanning like that. It want to be brown. Like, wow. Okay, so let me see what they say. It's a lot of zombies in Pittsburgh. No lie. Yeah, it's crazy. And then sometimes you go to a place where it's just a lot of people that's like just fucked up. You be like, is it the water? Like, what's wrong? Are they giving these people the drugs? Like, what's going on? I know in Central State in Petersburg, I remember I went back in the day, maybe it's a school trip or something like that, and they had this noise that was going on all the time when you went on the campus. And what that was supposed to keep the people calm. I guess it was at a certain frequency, and that frequency would keep the people, with the mental issues, that would keep them calm. And I thought that was real funny. But now I get it because I listen to frequencies too. You might want to get that 432 or that 528 megahertz, your tuning forks or whatever. So it does have, it has some truth to it. So that's weird. I understand it now. No one is responding when you speak and their eyes show no life. Yeah. Guess they just gave up, huh? Just like, I mean, it's sad, man. It's really sad. Spice had people dying in LA. Yeah, I remember the Spice. I remember that because I remember the dude that I don't know if that's the Spice or the bath salts, but that was in LA. And he bit the man's face off on the highway or something. That was pretty rough. And it made them crazy. But my thing is, why do the people know it's gonna make them crazy? Why do they want to do that? I mean, yeah, maybe they don't know, but why you I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't know. Maybe putting stuff in the water. Water. That's why them people so crazy. More and more they put stuff in the water everywhere. That's a bottle. But yeah, yeah, it's crazy. They put stuff in the water everywhere. And then you gotta look. And yeah, and then talking about drugs. Yeah, we talked about drugs, but it's toxins also. It's drugs, it's environmental toxins. You gotta watch what you drink, even the air, even the chemtrails, what you eat. I mean, there's so many drugs and stuff that are in our body. All of us are drug addicts, really. If you really look at what we take. I don't know anybody that hasn't taken drugs or that isn't on regular drugs, not regular drugs, but doesn't take drugs where they get a headache or smoke or get some caffeine or, they got that JAB, whatever it is. Everybody do this stuff. Even if they had to go to school, they had to get them shots. So all of us are drugged up, just some more than others. But yeah, my main thing was just the hypocrisy, don't be a hypocrite when you're taking drugs for something that you can easily control with your diet, easily control with exercise, but you're being lazy and taking the drug so you can eat, donuts all day. So that's what I have the issue with. If you're gonna say something to me about my little stress relief after work, hey, they're both drugs, right? You using it cheating, you're cheating. Hey, I'm cheating too. Maybe I don't want to be stressed out, I'm cheating too. Hey, but each his own, right? Each his own. If I'm not hurting anybody, hey, then it should be my choice. What water in Petersburg? It's water everywhere. More and more. Yeah. I don't know. You can do a water test where you live. You can actually order the water test from the county. I ordered one from here to see how bad this Richmond water is. I haven't got it yet though. But you can order it from the county and it'll give you a breakdown of all the mercury, all the fluoride and stuff. And see, they sent one like a year ago. And it'll come on the bill and they'll let you know. Well, we know it's missing them up in Flint. Yeah, it's bad. And then like places like that, how do you know they're not just poisoning people? Just I mean, really, really poisoning worse than they're poisoning us. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard, and I think it's hard for us not to get these toxins in our body and not to reach these environmental toxins. So we got to be sure that we detoxing. All right, so you know, rather you take drugs and not a headache or any kind of drugs, they put anything in your body. We still getting drugs in our food. We getting antibiotics. We getting drugs to the air. So it's important that you detox yourself. Now I've been hearing a lot about what's it called? Seaweed or something. Marmar, what is it? It was some kind of seaweed you was talking about. I didn't hear. So I want to check out what that is and see what it does because I saw it on TV too. So it must be something that's really good seaweed or green weed. What is it called? I forgot what it is, but it's some kind of stuff that you that's supposed to be real good for you, and I want to check it out. But yeah, we need to make sure that we detoxing to get some of this stuff out of our body because what I noticed when I stopped eating like the processed food and stuff like that, I did feel a whole lot better. So, I don't went out to eat. I went out to eat today, but yeah, the processed food and stuff is no good. And once you stop eating them and start eating the fruit and vegetables and just eating straight fruit, you can't notice a difference. But it's hard, man. It's expensive. You run out of blueberries, so you can only do what you can. Just try to do a little bit better. Try to drink a little bit of water. And then sometimes don't try to take in no toxins. Sometimes just have a day. And it's okay not to eat sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Whenever we don't eat, we fast. We let our bodies like flush everything out. So it's all right not to eat. So a lot of people get healthier when they don't eat. It's not that it's healthy for them not eating, but when you stop eating, you're not taking in toxins, especially if you're eating like processed food and stuff like that. You get better by not eating because you're not taking that processed food in. So that's what makes it better. No toxins. You know what I'm saying? Yes, it's crazy. Schools require kids to get all vaccines. If not, they can't attend school. Yeah, that's true. That is true. And it's a lot of vaccines. And the thing is, they're even worse than they were when we were coming up. Now it's even more vaccines. I'm wondering if they're going to make kids start getting the JAB. Like they're going to start getting that thing. Like, you know what I mean? New growth, clean and dirty drugs is serious business. It is business. So I looked up how much the drug market is worth. So between the illicit drugs, the pharmaceutical drugs, and designer drugs, it said that we spend $2 trillion a year. So $2 trillion a year on drugs. That's a lot. Guess who makes the most of that? People that make the most of it is the pharmaceuticals. No, not the street dealers, the pharmaceuticals. So out of that 2 trillion, they make more than half of that. So that's a lot. A trillion is a lot. A trillion is 1,000 billions. That's a lot. Sea moss, yeah, that's what it is. Sea moss. Okay, yeah, that's what I need because this sea moss is supposed to really be good at detoxing. So yeah, y'all, let's get some sea moss. I need to get some too to take the sea moss and just see how we feel if the sea moss helps us a little bit just to get that stuff out, just to detox. And like I said, you don't even have to necessarily take some. Just don't eat sometimes. Even if you go a day without eating, it's cool. You know what I'm saying? Or just drink some water. But you just want to have something when you're not putting no toxins in your body, especially if you're a person that's eating hot pockets or like frozen. I don't even have no frozen food. See, and that's the thing. That's why I'm hungry now because I don't have frozen food. I would have to like throw out some chicken. You know what I'm saying? Cut a squat. Like that's a lot. So yeah. So it's hard, man. But you just do a little bit at a time, and eventually you get better with it. New growth. I'm using sea moss now as part of my diet. All right, so new growth, how is it? Knee growth. Knee growth. Yo, how is the sea moss? How do you feel? Does it make you use the bathroom? Do you feel like it's helping you out? Okay. Mama says I feel like they put something in them Popeyes chicken sandwiches too because they went crazy for it. Yeah, I like them chicken sandwiches too. Yeah, I mean, at the very least, they probably put some MSG in it. You know, the MSG, stuff the Chinese restaurant, they put the MSG in that makes it taste better, wakes up the flavor, like the accent. Yeah, they probably put that MSG in it. But you know what? They also put stuff I think they put stuff in the buffet. That's why I like the buffets. I feel like when I go to the buffet, it's something in there that keeps me from eating a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? Because once you get that food, you start eating it like, so I think they put something in the buffet food too. Negro, I'm fasting for 30 days, cleaning and allowing my body to rest from food for real. Girl, you gotta let me know how that go. Because like I said, I'll be trying and I'll do good for a little while. But just like now, like I need to go to the grocery store. I mean, when I tell you there's nothing in there, it's not a whole lot. So unless I'm thaw out a pack of chicken tonight, there's nothing to cook. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, so it's good. It's good. Let your body rest for food. Yeah, just let your body heal up. Just don't put nothing in it. Yeah, Nikki Dredd, it's in the trillions. That's a big market. Trillions. $1 trillion business. Yeah, they're just making the money, man. And then you think about it, and then there's so much stuff that they do to even make more profit. Like, not only are you making all this money from all these drugs, you put fake expirations on the drug after a year when it takes them 5 years to expire. I mean, you're pushing out drugs, it's not even ready to haven't even been tested just to make more money. I mean, the greed is just crazy. The greed is really, really, really bad. And like I said, we put most of the blame on each other instead of looking at, the pharmaceutical companies and the people that are really killing the big people that are really taking the money. I mean, all of it's bad, you know what I mean? But it's crazy. I wonder where I can buy fresh sea moss. Yeah, that's a good question, Mama. I wonder where I can buy some too. Well, order off Amazon or a supplement store. Energetic. Okay, so Negro make it energetic. That's why I be feeling so full after eating a little at the buffet. They sprinkle that fill 'em up dust on it. Yeah, that's what it is that fill 'em up dust. Yeah, as soon as you eat, I be drinking like, man, I ain't gonna drink no more soda because I ain't hungry no more. So yeah, so I went to Chicken Fiesta today. Yeah, I ain't had no food. So I went to Chicken Fiesta. Yo, I got the whole chicken. Yo, when I tell you, like it was like half of a breast. I need to call. I don't even want to talk about it. Yo, man, they be taking it wasn't a whole chicken it was supposed to be though. Like one of the breasts was so small, it's like half a wing. I was already home though. So I had to like yeah, yeah. Energetic. All right, so that sea moss gonna make you energetic. Okay. Yeah. And I mean, and I've been telling I've been feeling a little bit healthier, like since I've been trying to eat a little bit better. Because it's like I feel like I'm catching a cold or something, and I don't quite get the whole cold. You know what I'm saying? It won't quite push through. Like I might have a headache or something, or I might feel like I'm have, not feeling that good, but none ever really pushed through. So it's definitely something. You just gotta stay on it, man. It's hard, and don't get discouraged because you gonna have times like today. I went to Chicken Fiesta, I got a whole chicken, man. I'm about to eat it, to eat the rest of it. I mean, you're gonna mess up sometimes. It's all right. Just do the best you can. It's still better than nothing. It's an ongoing process and it takes a while. You know what I mean? And then you get to the point where when you start eating something that's bad, like you can't eat. Like if I ate McDonald's right now, it would really mess me up. Like really, even a cheeseburger, I'd be messed up. Um, Feeling great. It helps with stress. Sea moss with fruit and vegetables with a lot of water. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna try that. Yeah, I need to get some vegetables. And I was doing so good, man, because we got an Aldi here, and our Aldi has fresh fruits and vegetables like really, really cheap, like blueberries, like $2 for like a pint. I bought like 10 of them. Yo, so yeah, definitely check out all these because you can get a lot of produce there. So I need to just go in there and get some more stuff. The butternut squash, you know what I'm saying? You cut them in half, you cook them. So yeah, regrowth is your seasons. Oh, she talking to regrowth. Yeah, regrowth. Is that sea moss fresh? Doesn't have to be refrigerated. Mine is powder and it's hard to find fresh sea moss. Yeah, so when y'all find some, let me know because I want to get some too. Yeah, and I like the idea of having stuff that's like a cure for all, almost something that like does a lot of different stuff. And I'm on that earth too. And I'm gonna start taking the Damascus earth again. You can use that. What that is silicone. And what it is, our body has silicone in it. And by taking the earth, what it does, it just flushes out the toxins and stuff like that. So when you use the bathroom, a lot of stuff is gonna be coming out, stuff you ain't know what was up in you, but it's better out of it than in you. So yeah, you can try the earth too. That is good. If you get it, make sure you do the food grade. Get the food grade if you're going to be ingesting it. No, I'm about to take some. Oh man, Nikki Dre, you showing off. You about to take some sea moss, really? Okay, okay. Dr. Sebi also recommends sea moss. Mm-hmm. Exercise for 5 days and rest 2 days. Okay. Exercise for 5 days, rest 2 days. Yeah, Dr. said he did recommend the sea moss. He had a diet of certain things. His main thing, was the mucus too. So, whenever you get that mucus, you want to make sure that your mucus, just try to get it out of you because that mucus is what breeds stuff. So we've got a lot of mucus, there's a lot of disease. So yeah, Dr. Sebi talks about that too. Silicone. Yeah, I said silicone. It's Damascus earth. It's food grade. Let me show you. Okay. So can you see this? That is pure Damascus earth and it's food grade. And if you see it, it's amorphous silica. And hey, that's kind of wild too. Do y'all see that spiral? That's like sacred geometry. Okay, all right. Anyway, yeah. So that's what it is. And what it is it's a powder. You just take the powder, take a couple teaspoons, you put it in your water or your drink or whatever you're drinking, and yeah, it helps and it runs through you too. So whatever in your stomach is gonna, it's gonna strip that off. So yeah, you're gonna go to the bathroom and it's gonna clean you out. But yeah, when I'll take it for maybe like a week and then chill for a couple of days, maybe take like another week. But yeah, it helps. You can really tell the difference. Yeah, so it's actually a form of silicone. Yeah, it's our body. And it's wild because that's silicone and that's powder form. Yeah. So, all right, y'all. I've been talking for about an hour. I think I went over everything I wanted to get on. We talked about them lazy people popping them pills, don't want to exercise, high blood pressure. We said that we're not going to judge each other on different stuff. I mean, if somebody's a crackhead, they're a crackhead. Come on now, if you're not going to work, you're missing work, and you're at home smoking crack, you're a crackhead. Not saying be dumb, but I'm saying amongst each other, you know what I'm saying? It's always a reason for something. And I'm not gonna be so hard on these people. It's like, hey, can't you just lose a couple pounds? I'm not gonna be so hard on them, man. Might be hard for the man to get up and not watch TV. You know what I'm saying? He might like eating them metforms like Tic Tacs. So I'm not gonna judge. You know what I mean? So I don't want to be judged. So it's all good. But if they do, hey, it's all good. We just gotta learn how to have a little bit of a thicker skin. I think today, the way it's getting, people are getting so sensitive that every time somebody says something, it's a big deal. Or we're going to do this, or we're going to do that, we're going to counter you. Yo, say what the hell you want to say. Because once you start making people not say what they want to say, there's nothing to keep them from not saying what you want to say. So the only way that you can make sure that that you keep your rights, is to protect other people's rights. Because once they start taking away any rights, who's to say that they're not going to take yours? You feel me? Good. Anybody who has COVID had some mucus left over. Yeah, I can. Nikki, yo, what is you was telling me? You were saying something about what can you do for the mucus? You was telling me something about the mucus, what you can do, and it'll get your mucus out. My mouth been real dry lately, like really, really dry. I don't know what. Oh, I appreciate it. Thanks. Yo, thank y'all for joining me, yo. I really appreciate it, even though nobody came up on the panel, but it's all good. Yeah, I had a rough start at the beginning. My screens went out. I got like 3 screens. One of them went out. But yeah, I appreciate y'all for coming. And I got a super build next time. I'm not going to tell you what it's about. It's coming out in a few days. Yeah, and I'm working on something good. So yeah, I appreciate that new growth. And I want to thank y'all for coming to Sound Off. Thanks for joining us today. And I'll be back real soon.
There's always some that'll try to take you down. Don't let it make you. There's always some that'll try to make you lose. You gotta stop it, break it loose. Don't let it shake you up. Just feel you go. There's always something that will shake you up. Don't let it make you up. There is always something that will wake you up. Don't let it break you up. Nothing stays the same. Things always change. Would you rather be on Saturn or Earth? Repetition of the fast lane. As soon as you start to get it right, something shakes you up. Something shakes you up. As soon as you put down your thoughts, something wakes you up. Something wakes you up. But all that's okay, 'cause my light is what makes me up. Shine, 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 shine bright as the sun. And know you're the only one. Nothing stays the same. Would you rather be on Saturn or Earth? Repetition or the flat plane. As soon as you start to get it right, something shakes you up. Something shakes you up. As soon as you stop with the fight, something wakes you up. Something wakes you up. But all that's okay, 'cause my light is what makes me up. Shine, shine, shine bright as the sun. Know you're the only one. Nothing stays the same, things always change. Would you rather be on Saturn or Earth? Repetition or the flat plane? The sun up and shakes you up. Shakes you up. Shakes you up. The sound of it